You're being warned. The bubble of all bubbles, a major market crisis is currently underway. Now, we don't know when it will happen, but economist Harry Dent predicts a stock market crash worse than the 2008 crisis. And this is not the first time we have heard something like this. Numerous economists have made these predictions. Now, many of your typical players have been saying, everything's fine, buy, you're going to be good. It'll be fine. But I don't think this explains the behavior of certain wealthy individuals who seem to be exiting the market. Now, when you take a look at China and Russia and the escalation of tensions, it seems we could be in for a major market crash. I mean, the housing market seems to be wild and just, I don't know, something weird is happening. Now, for many of you, I've many people ask about the Friday morning videos because we have one here for you today. What I try to do is pre-record for Friday because Friday mornings at 10 a.m. we are live with our cultural show, The Culture War, over on Tenet Media's YouTube channel. So I recommend after you watch this, jump on over. It's 2 hours live conversation on various political and cultural issues, Chinese Communist Party, dating, all of that stuff. And, I know some people have asked me, like, there's no Friday show anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? We do our morning 2-hour show. It's a 2-hour live show in the morning. Everything you'd ever want and more. In-depth debates and issues. Tenet Media on YouTube. And we got all the episodes up there so you can watch those after you watch this. But I will try to get more Friday shows for you on this show because some people don't like the debate show. They like the news. So let's read the news. This is from Fox Business. Harry Dent, the outspoken financial author and economist, isn't reversing course from his bold crash of a lifetime declaration this past December. Speaking in an updated interview with Fox News Digital, Dent cautioned that the everything bubble has still yet to burst, and it may be a bigger crash than the Great Recession. In 1925 to 29, it was a natural bubble. There was no stimulus behind that. Artificial stimulus per se. So this is new. This has never happened. What do you do if you want to cure a hangover? You drink more. And that's what they've been doing. I will stress, you drink water. Typically, hangovers are caused by dehydration. But a lot of people feeling pain from the hangover drink more booze. No kidding. They get a Bloody Mary or a mimosa, and it's just, seriously? An excuse to drink before 9 a.m.? Heavens me. Flooding the economy with extra money forever might actually enhance the overall economy long term. But we'll only see when we see this bubble burst. And again, this bubble has been going 14 years. Instead of most bubbles going 5 to 6, it's been stretched higher, longer. So you have to expect a bigger crash than we got in 2008 to 09. I'm going to tell you this. Not financial advice, not telling you what to do. But if this bubble pops, Bitcoin is through the roof. What you need to understand about cryptocurrencies especially is people like to talk about Bitcoin is worth so much money. Oh, it's increased in value. Yeah, kind of, not really. This is a scary reality. Think about the average cost of food. Go back 10 years. Look at the cost of milk and the cost of Bitcoin. Now, of course, with ubiquity comes an increase in value, an increased demand, an increase in price. But the value of milk, or I should say the value of milk is going up compared to the dollar, but the dollar's buying power is collapsing. Bitcoin's is skyrocketing. If the market tanks, heavens me, Bitcoin is going to shoot up to what, 200 to $1 million per coin? People don't understand what this means. Bitcoin is a safe haven for a lot of people to hide their wealth. I don't mean like from taxes. I mean from market failure. It is a digital asset that people can easily shift to. And I mean easily. It wasn't as easy 10 years ago. But I tell you this. My story for Bitcoin is, man, what is this going on? 13 years ago, I could have bought like 7,000 Bitcoin. It was 75 cents a coin. I had $5,000 in savings, and I said, you know what? I'm going to keep the money. I've never spent that $5,000. That's the secret. I've never spent it. That $5,000 in savings that I had just sat in the bank account. Today, it's just mixed in with all the rest of the money that I have. If I had spent that money, I'd have what? $500 million or something. Now, to be fair, anybody who bought Bitcoin at 75 cents sold it at $5. Anybody who bought it $5 sold it 20. Anybody who sold it 20 or bought it 20 sold it 100. You get the point. You're taking that 10x return. Of course, you'd be crazy. But outside of that, El Salvador is getting more and more expensive. And I think what we're seeing is the powers that be with their investments into crypto and the way they're moving their money, they are preparing for something big. And I think this guy may be right about a market crash. I don't know what that means today. It's not like young people are in the market, for the most part. As markets inch closer to the halfway mark of the year, U.S. stocks ended the month of May with gains, as the tech-heavy NASDAQ stole the show, finishing up 6.9%. The S&P 500 was up 4.8%, and the Dow Jones was up 2.3%. Nearly 2 weeks ago, tech and AI-heavy NVIDIA announced a 10-for-1 stock split, propelling shares past 1,000 3 days later. That's crazy. I think we're going to see the S&P go down 86% from the top, and the NASDAQ 92%. A hero stock like NVIDIA, as good as it is, and it's a great company, goes down 98%. Boy, this is over. A little doomsday, huh? We have never seen the government sustain a totally artificial bubble for a decade and a half and see what happens after that. But I can tell you, there has not been one bubble, but this is a far larger and longer one major bubble in history that has not ended badly, period. They all do. The only edited dense prediction is the timing, noting market bottoms are likely to show sometime between early to mid 2025. Makes sense. Donald Trump wins. Everybody cheers. Market crashes because of the failures of economic policy. Everyone blames Trump. At the center of the bubble stands the real estate market. Oh, don't you know it? Dent previously predicted that housing would see 2012 lows this year and claimed Tuesday that U.S. homes have already increased by double or more what they'll soon be worth. No time in history has housing been so widely owned and so many people having second and sometimes third homes just for speculation. While pointing out countries like China and Japan are seeing a rising number of residents buy empty properties as collateral to a potential market crash. You want to know why I think it's coming? There was a house not too far away from here. It's like a 3-bedroom, 5 acres, $300K. That was 2 years ago. It was a year and a half ago. Comparable property right now, 500. How is that possible? And so we're talking to a local guy's an agent. I said, how is that possible? He said, well, that's what the market wants. And I'm like, no way, dude. How do you have Gen Z? They can't afford to live anywhere. And you got boomers who own multiple properties, corporations owning multiple properties, Airbnb properties, making it impossible for young people. The market will explode. Let me tell you the truth. And I hope you're listening. It's good news for young people. It's bad news for old people. It's bad news for young people in a way. Why is the property so valuable? Well, boomers hold a disproportionate amount of wealth generationally than generations normally did. So you got a boomer who owns 3 houses. I'm not saying all do. I'm not saying everyone does, but, why is the value of a house so high? Older folks with more wealth are trading them to each other. Older millennials are just struggling to buy. But let's say you have a house worth $500,000. The boomer parents in their mid to late 60s. In the next 5 to 10 years, they die. With all due respect, I'm not trying to be grim, but this people die. The children inherit a house worth $700,000 or $800,000 based on market conditions. So they say. They go to the agent and they say, look, man, I live in Los Angeles. Okay, I don't live in Cuyahoga Falls anymore or whatever. So I don't live in Dubuque, Iowa, where my parents are from. I don't want to move there. I don't want to take care of the house. I can't do it. Can you sell it for me? Real estate agent says, yeah, these houses go for, the market value is $800,000. So we'll put it on the market and we'll try and sell it. Great. Nobody buys. A couple of weeks go by. Okay, any interest? No interest at all. Okay, well, let's drop the price. Let's drop it down $20,000. Let's say $780,000. Sure. A couple of weeks go by. Nobody buys. Look, we're going to have to drop the price quite a bit. We've got no interest. All right, $700,000. Nobody buys. This trend continues, and the question is why? Why does nobody buy? Because it's a whole bunch of other broke millennials and Gen Zers who have no money. They can't buy a house. So that property that had value because boomers were in it, well, they die. And a lot of the wealth they have is transferred in the form of property. The younger generation inherits a property they cannot sell. And so what happens? That $800,000 property goes all the way down. Why? Because the kid who inherited it says, well, the guy, he's going to be in his 40s. He's going to say, look, I don't know. I don't care. I just don't live there anymore. And I don't want the house. He says, we got someone made an offer, $400,000. That's half what it was worth. Take it or leave it. It's your only offer. Fine, I'll take the 400. Deal. Market crashes. The value of all the properties crash. And here we are. These young people are going to inherit something that seemingly is worth so much, but is worth so little. And that'll be the market correction. But that means the net worth of so many people will collapse. And especially these big companies that heavily invested in these properties. Unless, of course, you get oligarchic control, where the big corporations refuse to sell them outright. He says, I want 800 for it. BlackRock, Blackstone, whatever shows up and says, anything you say. And then the property is owned by the corporations and you own nothing. If the market crash comes, I hope you all are ready. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all then.